So again, they've militarized the police. They're training them to go after the people. And all of this was set up before the big banks try to bring us into this economic implosion.
That's right. I've seen that sound system on the military channel where one of the reporters got within range of that, and all of a sudden they turned it on, and he just ran away because he said it's so painful.
Well, these are also soft kill weapon trainers. The studies show if they shoot you with a sound beam, a microwave, rubber bullets, that they're more apt next time to fire real bullets when they're ordered to. So it's just like you train an attack dog on dummies first before you give him real blood. We'll be back in 1 minute to talk about solutions. 3 minutes to talk about solutions.
This is Alex Jones. Have you heard of the Millionaire Patriot? Well, you should. He has a free handgun and 5 days of firearms training waiting for you. That's right. You can attend 5 days of world-class gun training at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute and secure a 30-state concealed weapons permit, all for pennies on the dollar. Plus, if you act fast, the Millionaire Patriot will give you a free Springfield Armory XD pistol in the caliber of your choice. I believe now is the time that you and your family need to be armed and trained to levels that exceed law enforcement and military standards. Front Sight provides such training without any boot camp mentality or drill instructor attitudes. This is real. Don't miss out. Secure a Front Sight defensive handgun course, plus a 30-state concealed weapons permit for pennies on the dollar, and get your free handgun. Go to frontsight.com today. That's FRONTSIGHT.com. Go to frontsight.com for your training and free gun.
Coming up in the next segment, we're going to start taking your phone calls at 1-800-259-9231 on this live Wednesday, September 16, 2009 edition. And after Mr. Ross leaves us in about 30 minutes, I'm going to do a big news blitz and more of your phone calls. So I said I'd start the show with this flu news, and I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm going to. Robert, you in your new book that isn't out yet, but it'll be out soon, you get into your ideas for solutions, monetizing the debt versus a gold standard. A lot of people are against the gold standard because the banks have hoarded all the gold, so they'd be back in control again. But, I mean, don't we just start with auditing the Fed? Don't we have to get rid of the Fed first? No. But I guess we also need to then, or nationalize the Fed.
Well, first of all, none of this will happen, Alex, until we straighten it out in a timeline. The first thing we have to do is correct our voting system. It's so corrupt now that they can make anybody win an election. And so, first of all, we have to go to paper ballots everywhere, counted by local citizens, and posted in local newspapers before it's sent to Washington. And now, once we have the voting system corrected, then we need to eliminate the two-party system. The two-party system, if the Democrats are in control, the Republicans fight everything they try to do. If the Republicans are in control, the Democrats fight everything they try to do. So they should not be allowed to do anything to enhance or degrade a party for any reason. They ought to be there to do things for their constituents to improve the quality of life of their constituents, but they haven't done that probably ever. So first of all, then if we have in every election, there should be as many independent people running for office as we can drive out of the bushes. And a great way to would be to have 25% of Congress, one independent party, 25% another independent party, 25% Democrats, and 25% Republicans. That way they lose control. Even better than that is to have every elected representative an independent person, so that they are not controlled by a party, that they're there to represent their constituents. We need to change the total election system. For example, we should limit the time of campaigning for presidential office to 6 months, and to member of Congress or the House of Representatives to 3 months, and then allow or demand that all local TV stations must provide an avenue for campaigning of everybody running for office. So, and if we don't do that, then nothing will change, because we've got, and when the election comes up, we need to vote against every incumbent except about 6, and I name those 6 in my book. And the reason that is we need to get their attention.
Well, that's what politics is. I mean, you listen to a Sean Hannity or somebody, they sound great when their party's out of power. But as soon as the Republicans back in, they're going to support the whole New World Order agenda. Just like Democrats sound great when Bush is in power.
Right.
But as soon as they get in power, they just continue because they're all bought and paid for. Can't we just bypass all that and arrest the Federal Reserve Board and arrest Rockefeller and Rothschilds and indict them for their crimes and just get our system back that way?
If you can't do that until you get control of Congress and presidency, because.
But how do we do that? Do we start at the local level? Because I see the local level as the area where we actually have power.
Correct the voting system first, then have independent people run so that we get the control of the Democrats and Republicans out of Congress.
We'll stay there. We got a break for 1 minute. We're going to come back with the final hour. Your phone calls and a lot more.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator this summer. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded, especially with the high-demand summer months ahead. Number 4, the hurricane and dangerous summer storm season is here again. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, a longtime sponsor of ours. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun yet. So go to mysolarbackup.com or call toll-free 877-327-0365.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
We're taking your phone calls for Robert Gaylon Ross coming up in the next segment at 800-259-9231. But you're running through your new book that isn't even out yet. It'll be out, the next month or so?
Within 2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks, so folks can get it then at your website that we've got up on screen. But continue with your idea of solutions.
Okay, after we correct the voting process and we eliminate the two-party system, then we have independent people within Congress that will do things for the constituents rather than for special interests. So then we need to attack the Federal Reserve System. There's an attorney out in California named Ellen Hodgkin Brown that did a research on this, on the Federal Reserve, and she says that if we nationalize the Federal Reserve, we can completely eliminate the income tax for everybody within the United States. And she goes through every step along the way to prove that you can do that.
Well, that certainly could have been done with the comprehensive financial report information that Walter Beering and others put out. The problem is they've now created this 1.5 quadrillion in fiat made-up debt. And so, but clearly for those that don't know, I love the point Ron Paul always makes, they will show the capital behind him when he's on Fox News or CNN, and they'll say, well, you want to get rid of the income tax and Federal Reserve, how will we fund the government? And he says, well, we built this capital in the whole country without it. We didn't have it until 1913. The income tax wasn't more than a percentage point until the 1950s. Not one red cent of the Federal Reserve money goes to run this country.
That's right. And but if you take the total interest earned by the Federal Reserve in a year, and she goes back and uses the year 2005 for example, and she She takes the total income tax paid and then the total interest earned by the Federal Reserve. And then if we eliminate the IRS, that's another $10 billion of cost that we eliminate. And then if we do some other things in following chapters, it'll turn out that instead of having a debt every year, we can probably have a $200 billion surplus. And it'll be forever because, in one of the chapters I talk about the military, to bring all military people back in the continental United States.
Yeah, none of these countries are starting wars. The regional groups can deal with themselves.